Hi Beatle people, welcome back to A Beautiful Life. So sometimes on my channel I do these videos where I talk about every concert that I've ever been to, and I do updated ones every once in a while. I realized that the last one of those was about a year ago that I did, so I wanted to do an update today, but I'm only going to focus on the shows that I've been to over the past year, because I feel like I've done enough of every single show. But if you do want to check those out, you can. And I'll also talk about some shows that are coming up later in the year today. So let's go ahead and get started. So the last time I did one of those videos was April of 2022. So the first show that I saw after that was actually an Eagles tribute. It's called Eagle Mania, and I saw them at one of my favorite venues. It's called the Mock Chunk Opera House. It's in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. It's like a very small venue because it did used to be an opera house. But it's really nice there, and I've seen a lot of tributes there. And this Eagles tribute, Eagle Mania, is really, really good. Even if you're like me and you don't know every single Eagles song, they do a lot of the greatest hits, and they also do like a solo section, I think. So they're very, very talented. I really recommend seeing them. And we've actually seen them twice a year sometimes. That's how much we enjoy it. Like, we never get tired of it. And they'll actually be coming back pretty soon, so I'm hoping we can see them again. And then next would be June of last year, and I saw 3 shows that month. And the first of those was the big one. I saw Paul on the Got Back tour. As you know, I have a whole video about that show. You could obviously watch that if you haven't. I can't go on enough about how much I loved that concert, and I love seeing Paul. It was my 9th time seeing him. I think actually I'm going to do a video for 1 year of the Got Back tour, like 1 year since the first show, and talk more about seeing him on that tour, and more about the experience of seeing him arrive at the venue, you know, the limo watch thing as well, because I didn't really elaborate on that too much. But definitely doing the video of that concert was probably my favorite video I've ever done in 4 years of having my channel. It was amazing, the whole experience. So then next, last June, the second show I saw that month was one of my favorite tributes, which is the British Invasion years. And I saw them at that same place, the Mock Chunk Opera House. And that is a tribute to not only the Beatles, but other 60s music, of course, the British Invasion years period. And it's a really, really feel-good show. They're very talented, and I always enjoy seeing them. I actually have a couple videos of that, like back from a couple years ago on my channel, if you want to see what they sound like and everything, because I really enjoy that show, and I'm hoping to be able to go see them again when they come back later this year. And then the third show I saw last year, it was kind of an all-star show. The name of the tour is It Was 50 Years Ago Today, and it was a tribute to Rubber Soul and Revolver, which are 2 of my favorite Beatles albums. Rubber Soul Pillow right there. And I have here like the poster. You could see who is in the show. So Denny Lane, Todd Rundgren. Although the guy from Chicago wasn't there that night. I'm not sure if he was sick or something, but otherwise really, really great show. They played, of course, mostly songs from Rubber Soul and Revolver, but they did a couple of their own songs too. And that is a really nice venue. It's called Penn's Peak. It's also in Jim Thorpe, and it's situated like at the top of a mountain sort of, so it has an amazing view. I've vlogged a couple shows there before. I'm sure I have clips of what it looks like inside. You can see those, but this was definitely a really cool show. It was almost like a Ringo concert, because it was like these people all singing individually and doing their own songs, and then doing the Beatles songs too. Alright, so we are up to last July now, so I saw 2 concerts that month. The first was the Doobie Brothers, and that was up at the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. That is another very cool venue. It is at the site of the original Woodstock Festival, and it has like an amphitheater sort of thing. I definitely recommend seeing a show up there. I actually saw Ringo there in 2019. That was the most recent time I saw him. And it's a really, really cool place to see a concert. And that was one of those shows where like everyone's up and dancing for a lot of it, so that was very fun. I definitely would recommend, again, seeing a show there. And then the other show I saw that month was actually a local band. It's a local Beatles tribute. It's called the Taxman. And I saw them at kind of an outdoor, I wouldn't call it a music festival, but they set up a stage like by the river. and it's called Rock in the River, and they were like the headliner for that night, and they are really good as well. They are all very talented. I should have taken some footage during that. I don't know why I didn't, but maybe I'll get to see them this summer, but they were really good. And then next up is August of last year. Just one show that month, I saw Rod Stewart. I was really surprised at how amazing that show was. Again, I didn't know what to expect. I never saw him before, but it was like a Vegas show, sort of. Like there was all this like extra like live instruments and like dancing and backup singers and, you know, all this production going on. It was really great, and he was really good himself, and he's funny too. I really enjoyed that show so much that we are actually going to see him again. This time it is back at the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. Last time I saw him, it was at Hershey Park Stadium. I'm really excited. We have much better seats than we did last time, so that'll be great. And that is definitely one of the shows where everyone is dancing the entire time. I don't think I stopped dancing from the beginning to the end. It was so much fun. So next we have last September, and I guess this counts as a concert. As you may have seen in one of my previous videos, I went on a cruise. It was the Norwegian Bliss cruise ship, and there was a Beatles tribute on board, and there was even a Cavern Club themed area. So there was a Beatles tribute called the Beatles Experience that played in there, and they focused for one show they were focusing on all Sgt. Pepper era stuff, and then later in that week we saw them in the amphitheater, if you would call it that, the theater on the ship, and they did a show focusing on all eras of the Beatles. It was really fun, and I actually have footage of them on my channel. It's just a couple videos ago. You could check them out to see what they're like. Then we are up to October. The first show I saw that month was a Chicago tribute, and that was again at the Mock Junk Opera House. I do go there a lot, like I said. It's called Beginnings, a tribute to the music of Chicago, and they of course had the live horns, obviously, and they were very good as well. We were sitting in the balcony, but could still hear everything just fine. And at one point the horns, like the players, came up to the balcony and were standing right in front of us playing the horns. We didn't expect that, so that was cool. Then the other show I saw in October was the Fab Four, which is obviously a Beatles tribute, and that actually was the first Beatles tribute I ever saw, which was all the way back in 2009. I was, depending on the month, I was either 12 or 13, and I remember enjoying that show, but I didn't remember much about them because it was so long ago, so it was cool to be able to see them again, and they were very good. And I saw them at one of my local venues. It's called the FM Kirby Center, and I do go there pretty frequently. I actually saw Ringo there the first time I ever saw him, which was in 2016. I really wish he would come back there. That would be so amazing. Then in November, we actually saw Eaglemania a second time. Like I said, we see them twice a year sometimes. They tend to come to that venue every May and November, so we'll either see them again in this coming May or November. Not sure. Alright, so that is every concert I've been to over the past year. Now I want to mention the upcoming shows too. The big one I didn't mention yet was that in just a couple weeks I'm going to see the Eagles. I've never seen them before. Supposedly it's a 3-hour concert, so that will be really cool. And it's at the Prudential Center in Newark. I've never been there before either, so this will be a whole new experience. I'm looking forward to that. That's on April 7th. And then also in April, I am going to see my favorite Beatles tribute band, which is Rain. I think this is going to be my 7th or 8th time seeing them, so I love them a lot. And I'll be seeing them in Bethlehem. The venue is the Wind Creek Event Center, so I'm looking forward to that. They're always a very amazing show. And then in June, I actually forgot we already bought the tickets, so we are going to see the British Invasion Years again at that same venue. And then the day after that, we're seeing a Beatles tribute, not at the same place though. And that is 1964, the tribute. And I've only seen them once before, and that was a while ago now. It was, I think 2015. And actually at that time we sat in the very front row. I actually caught the guitar pick. So I'm looking forward to that because 1964 is my favorite Beatles year, as you may know. And then, as I said, we are seeing Rod Stewart again. That is September 1st. And actually, I didn't mention Cheap Trick is the special guest for that, like I guess the opener you would call it. So that'll be fun. And then there is a possible show that we haven't gotten tickets yet, so I don't know for sure if we're going, but the Steve Miller Band is coming. This was just announced, actually, coming to the Bethel Woods Center. So that's in July. So if we can get tickets, we will be going to that. We've never seen them before, so that will be a cool experience too. Alright, Beatle people, so that is going to do it for today's video. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and my social media will be in the description as always, so you could check them out if you want. And as always, have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye.